I I don't want to say it was an epiphany, but I realized something about myself. You see, wow, where do I start? The other day, Asia was teasing me. I have a folder in my phone called Love Letters and Mixtapes. And what it is, it's just music from my childhood, like love songs, like relationship type stuff, specifically from like my formidable teenage years. I think I spent a lot of time jumping in and out of different relationships when I was a teenager because I had no concept of relationship. I didn't know what love was. But damn, if I didn't have a good idea from listening to Shanice, I figured that was all I needed to know. And I love these songs. It's poor man's time travel. It's like I listen to these songs and they take me back to a different time. And for a very, very long time, well into my 30s, I would go back and I would listen to these songs and I would reminisce about days gone by, about simpler times when I was dating Maisha Forbes, you know, or uh, I was messing around with the girl around the corner. What was her name? Cheryl. Like, everything was so simple when I was a kid. Everything, it just made sense relationship wise. I just wanted to get home, knock out my homework, and sit around and talk on the phone with my girlfriend. Like, why not? And I have songs that reflect that, you know? I have a lot of songs. Like, it's probably the biggest folder I have, period. It's at least 2,000 songs, at least. And sadly, 80% of them take me back to a different time. And I even remember admitting to myself once upon a time that I cling to the past because things were easier then. But I think in doing so, I was admitting a couple of things about my life. One was I only cling to the past because I was afraid of the future. And I clung so hard because I think I was just sad. You know, I think regardless to if I knew it or not, I was in a bad place. I had I had preconceived notions about love and those expectations weren't being met by anyone I was meeting. So I thought back to times when I was just the most happiest in high school, regardless of the fact that I dropped out in my senior year and I had the equivalent of freshman credits. Like, that aside means nothing. I had a great time in high school. It's easier to look back at the past and go, wow, things were great then. But I only did that because I was so afraid that it would never be that easy for me in the future. Or I was so convinced that I would never find happiness somewhere else. So I might as well remember as much happiness as I can by reminiscing about these songs. And I just don't do that anymore. The other day I tried to sit down and listen to that same folder, and somehow it just didn't appeal to me. The songs had lost their luster for me. And there's a real simple answer for it. I'm just happy now. I'm in a good place in my life. I mean, yes, things are about to get shaken up a bit, but I'm just in a good place in my life and I'm happy. I'm like overwhelmingly happy with life. So much so that I listen to songs on the radio now and like I don't like today's music, specifically today's rap, because I don't feel like they're saying anything. but I've learned that all music has its place. And, if music is meant to make you feel a certain way, then who am I to tell kids nowadays that their music doesn't do that for them? Like, I remember in the 80s and 90s, my parents would tell me that I didn't know what real music was. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Blackstreet Boys is it Blackstreet? Yeah, it was Blackstreet. Wow, not Backstreet, because the Backstreet Boys were a thing. Blackstreet was different. I liked both, by the way. My parents would tell me that wasn't real music, but to me, it was real music because it made me feel a certain kind of way, you know? So if I can get that from, say, Anita Baker or Blackstreet or Jagged Edge, then I guess kids can get that from Future, Fetty Wap, Little Yachty, I guess. I just, I don't cling to my childhood anymore. I don't look back to my past fondly the way I used to. And it's not to say I don't look back at it negatively. I mean, it's still my life, but I don't feel the need to go back anymore. It's just about moving forward. I just want to get through life, you know? Happy to be here with my wife, happy to be with my son, happy to be with my family, happy that this is my life. And I suppose I have songs that convey that. Faith of the Heart comes to mind. Lucky comes to mind. But I don't need music to reminisce about happier times to be happy anymore. I'm just happy. And that's a good thing because now I can move forward with my life instead of clinging to the way I used to do things, which admittedly were childish and simple. But man, those were good times. And I will always remember them fondly. But now it's about making new memories with my family. Now it's about this right now. I think that was a major stumbling block for me in my 30s. Because I was just, oh my God, my 30s were just so bad. Like, my father died, I was homeless, I had an engagement fall apart, I was in an abusive relationship. I moved before I even moved, and we don't talk about this often. Before I moved from Michigan to California, I actually moved from Michigan to Muskegon for a job opportunity that didn't work out. It was just it was just a bad time. The 30s were just. Then I met Asia, and the whole world was beautiful. Like that woman lit up my life in ways that I didn't know were possible. And here we are now. Like I'm long since past my 30s, but I look back at those times now, and I made it through because I needed to get here, and now here I am. I love my wife so much. All right, I'm gonna stop it here because I'm just babbling at this point. But no more do I feel the need to cling to the past. It's just time to move on.